The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene alongside Brian Haynes in as well. Welcome into the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. It is Tuesday after the NFL draft, and we are continuing with our NFL draft grades. We are going to be focusing on all of the NFC draft grades today. Obviously, we saw some things, some interesting things happen on draft night. Brian's Giants gave us a little thrill of night one.
I can't wait to hear his take on exactly how things went for the Giants. And I'm going to piss some more people off.
Nice.
You know what I've learned? My intelligence is directly correlative to what grade I give a team. If it's an A or a B, I'm brilliant. If it's a C or a D, I'm a fucking moron.
Yep.
And I think that is the funniest thing in the entire world.
Yeah. Shouldn't surprise you.
No, it doesn't surprise me at all.
Just clearing that up.
Yeah, you know what I learned yesterday? Apparently, Mac Jones is the greatest quarterback that ever lived, and 14 NFL teams bypassed him. It's fucking weird. It's weird how 14 GMs, me, and every other draft analyst were all morons.
Yeah.
Bizarre. What happened to Tom Brady, too?
We'll go down division by division, starting with the NFC East, ending up with the NFC West, the toughest division in all of the NFL. And, obviously, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, those two guys going to teams, changing, starting new eras, I guess we should say, for their respective teams. So let's get into it here. The NFC East. We'll start out with the worst team in the NFC East, the Philadelphia Eagles.
I almost threw the Giants up there.
You almost did. Almost had him. The Philadelphia Eagles. They didn't have a great year last year.
Didn't have a great draft either.
Didn't have the greatest of drafts, but I mean, they traded up 2 spots in the first round to get Devontae Smith. That's not a move that I absolutely hated. They felt that they needed to get above 11 to get a wide receiver. So they went out and got the one they wanted.
I hate that you gave up. Trading up is either for quarterbacks or good teams. Neither of those applied to this pick for the Eagles. And I don't hate Devontae Smith. I actually like the pick. I just don't like that you had to trade up to do it.
Right.
I mean, here's my thought. All right, so you're sitting at 12. Devontae Smith's on the board. Micah Parsons is on the board. Greg Newsome is on the board. And, Elijah Moore, who I really liked, is on the board. You're getting one of those guys. Come the hell or high water, you're getting one of those guys. And so you gave up a pick on a team that was just demolished by the dead cap on Carson Wentz, all of the bad contracts. I mean, this is when you kick the can down the road to now. And so you wound up with all of these problems, and you traded up. And I get it. You went and got your guy. More power to you. Cool, you got a quarterback that can't get him the ball. So in a year, when you draft a quarterback that can get him the ball, you got a weapon for him. That's not what I actually dinged them on it. I mean, a little bit. That's not really earned the C+ grade for the Eagles.
Okay, their riskiest pick, you say, is the defensive tackle Milton Williams out of Louisiana Tech in the third round.
Has nothing to do with the player. Has not one damn thing to do with the player.
Okay.
Did you see the response of Tom Donahue when they made the pick?
Yes.
I did.
Tells you everything you need to know about the Philadelphia Eagles. That one Twitter screen grab tells you everything you need to know about the Eagles. Because you've got your director of college scouting, or whatever the hell his title is, senior scout or something.
Right.
That went, fuck this. And he basically, on camera, looked at Howie Roseman and went, get the fuck out of my face. That's a really bad sign.
Yeah.
Did you notice that the good teams didn't have that happening?
Right.
Frankly, I didn't see it happen with another team. I'm sure it happened behind closed doors. But when you're pissed off enough at the GM that you can't even hide it knowing full well there's a camera on you, it's a bad sign. And I just look at everything with Philadelphia, and this all goes back to Howie Roseman outsmarting himself with the Jalen Hurts thing. And now I think the whole front office looks at this team and goes, we won a Super Bowl a few years ago. And in just a few years, you have demolished this team because they're not good. I think any Philadelphia Eagles fan will admit to you, this is the worst team in this division. If you're rational, of which there seems to be less of that than I thought there was. But
especially in the Eagles fan base.
The Eagles are not one that's come after me yet. They will.
I would say today.
That will probably
happen.
Absolutely. Sure. In the second round, they took Landon Dickerson, 37 overall. I thought that was a really good pick.
I don't, because you've got Jason Kelce. Yes, he's 100 years old. I get that. Landon Dickerson is not the no doubt home run pick that everybody seemed to make him. You got to understand, I'm a Florida State fan. I watched this dude for a minute. Mm-hmm. He was a liability at Florida State. Then he got to Alabama, and he was 2 and 3 years older than everybody was playing against, and all of a sudden he's a man possessed. I liked the kid. Don't act like this is a no doubt home run 15-year starter in the league. Between injury history and the fact that his best tape was when he was markedly older than everybody on the field, that's unsettling. I had him and Creed Humphrey right side by side. Creed Humphrey went in the third round. You took this guy in the beginning of the second. Yeah, and you're going to play him at guard to start off with because you've got Kelce, and that's fine. And I'm not, and I got dinged on this yesterday that I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth. No, I'm not, because there's good and bad to a lot of picks.
Right.
I'm not saying I don't like Landon Dickerson. I'm saying I don't like him where you took him.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that Kelce's, 150 years old. Landon Dickerson's 125 years old, coming out of college. Going to be collecting Social Security pretty soon here. But I just felt like that pick was okay. I think the only pick that I really – and Devontae Smith, I think he's going to be really good in this league.
I do too.
I do too. It was kind of a weird of the trading back and then trading back up. It just seemed a little weird. But the only pick that really jumps out of the screen for me is going to be Kenneth Gainwell, and that was number 150 overall. I think he actually will help this team more this year and the next couple of years than maybe – every other draft pick they have.
Well, Zach McPherson, I don't understand why you waited so long to take a corner. Their secondary is awful. I mean, awful. You looked at Jalen Mills and were sad he was leaving. And you may not have, but the Eagles did because they made a run at him. Whether you want to admit that or not, or whether you like it or not, it's the case. And looking at Jalen Mills walk out the door and being sad about it is like the girl that wouldn't stop cheating on you being sad when she left you for your frat brother. Like, oh, no, please don't go. And Philadelphia was legitimately, oh, shit. He was better than what we have.
Yeah.
That's the part I don't understand. Philadelphia just doesn't seem to have a path to me. That's the reason that I'm dinging you so much. Devontae Smith is a win-now player. That's a guy that makes me think you believe you can win now. And then I look at your secondary and go, that's not a win-now secondary.
Yeah.
It's not. You're going to get torched in a division that the Giants added 2 more pieces. The Cowboys are a high-octane offense, and guess what? Washington, they can score points now.
Yeah.
And your biggest liability is your secondary. How do you think that's going to work out?
Kenny Gainwell in the 5th round I thought was a good value pick for them. I think he'll come in and be fine running with Miles Sanders. It'll give them the ability to run the ball. If you're not convinced that Jalen Hurts is the future of this team, you got to kind of treat him like Cleveland and Kevin Stefanski are treating Baker Mayfield. Take the ball out of his hands as much as possible. So Kenneth Gainwell, I think, can serve that purpose for them if that's the path they want to go down. Now,
he was the best blocking back in this draft. And I could see him filling the 3rd down role really well.
Yeah. I love that we're 7 minutes into this and they're already losing it in the comments about how hot Zach Wilson's mom is.
The best value pick for the Philadelphia Eagles was their last one.
Would have been Zach Wilson's mom.
Oh, Patrick Johnson, the edge rusher out of Tulane.
I like Patrick Johnson.
But I feel like this is a guy that you had way higher on your board than in the 7th round.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I had him, I think the last mock I did, I had him at the very end of the 3rd.
Yep.
I mean, that's a value pick. Now, how he's going to fit in this defense, I really don't know, because I thought he was a hand in the dirt defensive end. So, I mean, they project him as a linebacker, and that's, I'm fine with that. Yeah. That's a good player to get in your building. Now, he's a little raw, going to take some time, but I do like the pick. Just so I don't have to say all bad things about the Eagles.
Oh, God.
Well, the Philadelphia Eagles have a collection of talent here.
I like Taron Jackson, too, by the way.
Okay.
You got 2 guys that I think can get after a quarterback. I like that. Frankly, I like everything they did on day 3. It's day 1 and 2 that I look at and go, I don't know how I feel about that.
Right.
That's the reason their grade's a C+. I'm going to be honest with you. After day 2, I was pretty sure this was going to be a Gary Busey. Mm-hmm. And then day 3 happened, and I went, well, son of a bitch. None of that's bad.
Right. They do have a good collection of talent. How they fit in the scheme, of course, that's going to be on Nick Sirianni and the rest of the coaching staff to figure out. But they're no doubt the worst team in this division.
Might be the worst team in the entire league.
Nope, Houston Texans. Houston Texans have already peed on that. Don't try to take that from them.
They licked it.
They don't have much. Don't take that from them.
Yeah.
Right. Let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys obviously need a whole lot of help on defense, and they used their first 6 picks on defensive players. Did you like it?
I did.
I did as well.
That's what you have to do. Your defense is awful. So, yeah, you have to. I mean, now, the one thing I will say that came out of the last 5 days, I'm a little shocked they didn't kick in that 5th-year option on Leighton Vander Esch. I know he's been hurt, but he's still pretty damn talented.
He is, and he's a guy that can get you 100 tackles when he's healthy. And that's the problem, is you're going to pick up the 5th-year option and then hopefully, sign him to an extension, and that extension's going to be a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'm going to say something that's not going to be popular. I didn't love the Micah Parsons pick. I didn't.
Hang on. Nope. There.
There you go. Turn the damn volume up, dumbass. I didn't love it. Just think about it. What do the Cowboys have that we universally like? Linebackers. We like the linebacking core of the Dallas Cowboys. It's a corner that you needed. Yeah. And people say, oh, well, Surtain and J.C. Horn had already been taken. Yeah, but Greg Newsome hadn't. And I had Greg Newsome right behind those guys.
Right.
Yeah.
This struck me as Jerry got put in a bind. Jerry wanted J.C. Horn. Jerry wanted Patrick Surtain. Then neither one of them were there. He got put in a bind and he panicked. And he took the guy that he was drunk on the talent. I don't think that's a need. I mean, do you really look at linebacker? Did you walk into this and go, that's the reason their defense sucks?
No.
I mean, and I don't hate it. I like the player. I just, I don't necessarily like him here.
But now
I think he'll be a good player. That's not what I'm saying. You had bigger needs.
True. But it's going to be it would have been the key need next year had they waited to do it. And so they had the opportunity to get linebackers in the building. I'm talking about him and Jabril Cox, because those two guys.
And I guess that's my point, is that then you're the team that stops the free fall on Jabril Cox. And by the way, have you noticed that all of the reasons that these guys are falling is coming out now?
Yeah.
Did you hear the deal with Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah?
I did.
No.
He has a heart issue. He has a heart defect.
Oh, okay.
God.
And there were teams that flat out took him off the board. That's why he fell so far.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he was eventually cleared, but there's
Right.
something up with his heart. He has a heart. I shouldn't have said it was a heart defect. It's a heart condition.
Yeah.
And some teams just took him straight off the board.
Completely makes sense.
Jabril Cox has an injury thing that some teams took him off the board. So I love the pick. I love that they added players to this defense, and they're going to let Dan Quinn sort it out.
But they have such high-priced talent already on this team. They're going into an era where all their linebackers were going to have to be, massively paid.
Right.
So Leighton Vander Esch, they're not picking up the 5th-year option on him. Jalen Smith comes up at the end of this year for another contract. So by taking Micah Parsons and Jabril Cox, I at least give them credit for being able to get ahead of that.
Yeah.
That big payday that they were getting ready to dole out.
I'm not faulting them for that.
You just say that they have more immediate needs right now.
Correct,
Right.
because I look at, and basically the way Dan Quinn has said he's going to play this defense, Keanu Neal's one of the linebackers.
Right.
So I don't know how you're going to use all these pieces. I guess
Right.
I guess that's more my qualm.
That was said pre-draft that he was 100% going to be used as a linebacker and not as the traditional safety role that he was in.
So I guess, I'm sitting here looking at the way the depth chart is put out based off the formations that they think they're going to run.
Right.
Jabril Cox is a third teamer. Micah Parsons, he's a starter. You got Leighton Vander Esch is not going to start, and you got Keanu Neal on the second team.
Right.
So you have a lot of linebackers. And I felt like you had bigger needs. And doing that, you wound up having to reach a little bit for Kelvin Joseph, who I don't hate the pick. I just don't know that he's going to be exactly what you want him to be.
Right.
I would have been happier with Greg Newsome at 11, and then, I don't know. I'd have to look at let me look at what went behind Dallas. I'm sitting here looking at the teams. I would have been happier if they had gone Greg Newsome at 11 and just the guys that went directly after them in the second round.
Yeah.
Asante Samuel was there in the second round.
Yeah.
I would have been fine if they doubled up at corner.
Right.
Because you got to think about who you're contending against. I'm not sure. I look at damn near every team in this division and go, secondary is going to be a little bleak, except Washington.
Yeah.
In a division that's going to throw the hell out of the ball.
Right.
How do you think that's going to roll?
Well, they took 3.
And I love how I'm saying all this, and I gave the Cowboys a B+. So I've said all of the negative. I do like the amount of talent that you brought in. I'm just really interested to see how you're going to sort it out.
They got a nice haul of talent. I think this is almost some of the names coming out. The Calvin Joseph people were a little, as soon as he got picked, we were all a bit like, seems like we had higher rated cornerbacks. They might like him more. And the Osa, I'm going to say this wrong. Adigizua is, I like that pick.
I do too.
The Nashawn Wright pick, we were all kind of dumbfounded because we didn't really even know who they were.
No, I knew who he was. It's just too damn high.
2 rounds too early.
Right. But they did. I mean, that's a lot of talent that you just added to a team that needs talent defensively. I mean, we all know that the Dallas Cowboys
they're going to score points.
Are going to score points.
Yep.
It's can you stop the nosebleed?
Right. You got to keep.
Else?
Yeah, you got to keep the other team from scoring 42.
I mean, if you can hold them to 28, you might have a chance to win. But if they score over 30, you're probably going to lose. So it's like.
But they took 3 corners in this draft. Obviously, Nashawn Wright was way too high, and then they got Israel Muakumu from South Carolina, who I thought was a good value in the 6th round.
I did too. Frankly, I think he's a better corner than Nashawn Wright is. And I firmly believe that.
Yeah.
All right.
But then I look at and I would be remiss if I didn't say this about the Cowboys. What I love is they're another team. I love what they did on day 3. I love Quentin Bohanna. I love Simi Fehoko because there's high ceilings on both these guys. Quentin Bohanna, you're going to have to light a fire under his ass because he's a guy that could end up 400 pounds and out of the league. If he doesn't, he is going to be a gigantic piece in the middle of that front. So I like the pieces they gave Dan Quinn. I'm interested to see how he sorts them out.
How much of a contender for targets is Simi Fehoko on this team?
Not much of one.
And
that's a good thing. You were talking about, they're looking to the future with Micah Parsons. That's what Simi Fehoko is. Because I got news for you. He ain't a receiver. He's a track star that can every once in a while accidentally catch football. But now the raw on him is dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a guy that's the Jay Billis friend for Sheila line. He's a year away from being a year away. Yeah. That's Simi Fehoko. And I love him going to Dallas. I love that he's not going to be asked to do shit. He's going to be a height, weight, speed mismatch disadvantage as the 4th receiver on this team. I'm fine with that. I love that pick.
I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to finally pay off on some of that hype.
Yeah,
surrounding them last year.
Well, they better. I mean, they better because if they don't make the playoffs after giving Dak that contract, it's not going to get any better.
Oh no!
This is the next couple years for them are pretty much what they got because that Dak money going to start hurting real bad.
Oh, exactly. They have a 2 to 3 year window here to try to make some noise and get into a Super Bowl. I don't know that they can do it. I really don't. All right, let's talk about the New York Football Giants. The New York Giants gave us the thrill of the night on night 1 as they traded back in the first round to the number 20 spot, and they took Kadarius Toney, the wide receiver out of Florida, which sparked in Brian some evil hatred that's been lying dormant since he got an atomic wedgie in kindergarten.
Yes, I was picked on severely.
If you haven't seen that video, you need to go watch that video. After this one, it's fantastic.
So we'll start off on a little positive note. I want to make sure I say happy birthday to my beautiful fiance, Christy Chandler. I love you, baby. Thank you for being born on Star Wars Day so that I won't ever forget it because I'm a super nerd. But I love you. Thanks for all your support. Blah, blah, blah. I love you.
If it's going to be heartfelt, you may not want to throw the blah blahs in there.
Yeah, I just missed it by that much.
Listen, I'm just trying to get to my point here because I just started thinking and started to get angry, and I wanted to get out of the anger while I was being nice to my fiance. Does that make sense? Okay, yeah, here we go. So here's the thing. I tried over the weekend to rationalize what happened on Thursday night. I can't ding Gettleman for getting all the extra picks that we got. I mean, next year we're going to have 2 picks in the first, the second, and the fourth, or the first, the third, and the fourth. I can't remember exactly which. I think it's the first, the third, and the fourth. Mm-hmm. So, but that's next year, and we didn't draft a single offensive lineman.
Nope.
Not one.
Nope.
Not one single offensive lineman.
Nope.
I just here we don't know what we're doing. I mean, the reports out of New York are basically like they don't have any idea. Right now, they currently have on their depth chart, they have Nate Solder and at left tackle with Thomas being the backup on him. And I'm like, that doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Yeah, that's also not from the Giants, by the way.
Yeah.
Depth charts at this point are sheer speculation.
Okay.
So take those at your own risk.
Whatever. I don't give a shit. First and foremost, oh my God, hold on. I'm trying to get my thoughts together because God almighty, I'm pissed. Kadarius Toney I don't deny his talent. I'm not saying people were knocking me because I freaked out over the Kadarius Toney pick. I'm not knocking Kadarius Toney the player. I'm knocking the goddamn pick. Let's be clear here. We needed a freaking offensive lineman. Christian Darrisaw was on the board, and you didn't choose him. I'm not going to knock the second-round pick. I really love Azeez Ojulari. Hell, you could have picked Azeez Ojulari first, and I might have been okay with that, and then moved on and got something else. But you went pick after pick after pick after pick after pick, and we didn't see one single lineman taken. It just doesn't make any bit of sense. You're going into a year where you're finally giving Daniel Jones a possible opportunity to succeed, and you don't do anything to protect him. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Who cares if we got Kadarius Toney if we can't get him the goddamn ball?
Can I ask you a question? Were you a pro wrestler in a past life? Because you have this voice that's very... I got you for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
You're going nowhere.
Yeah. Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh, yeah, he kind of talk like this all the time. Maybe I got that little bit of that in there because, maybe just because the cream always rises to the top. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, now I have to cut through and tell you why you're slightly misguided on what you
Okay, I'm sure you will.
I don't like Andrew Thomas as a left tackle. That's the one problem you have.
Yeah.
Now, there is a guy in Charles Leno that's out there available right now, and there's going to be more of those. I don't think you're playing him at left tackle. Here's how I think this is going to go. You add a guy that plays left tackle, probably a vet guy that comes in after June 1. Andrew Thomas goes to the right. Will Hernandez is slotted in on the left at guard. Zach Fulton, Nick Gates, one of them is going to play center. Or Jonathan Harrison. Don't be shocked if it's Jonathan Harrison. And then Matt Pert slides in at guard. And I don't hate that. And guess what? You added Kyle Rudolph for an absolute reason. Because he's going to play inline tight end a lot. What I don't understand, and you're never going to make me understand, is what you're going to do with all of these weapons. Because here's what I didn't hear a lot of, and it's the number one thing I thought of. You took Kadarius Toney, who plays in the slot. What's Sterling Shepard do?
Right.
What does John Ross do? Mm-hmm. What does Evan Ingram do? Mm-hmm. They all play the same position. You may call Evan Ingram a tight end. He's not. He's not, because he couldn't block me. That's the part I don't understand. And I like the player. Kadarius Toney's a satellite player that with the ball in his hand is scary. I just don't know how you're going to play all these guys. And I agree completely with what you said. If they had taken Azeez Ojulari at 20 and taken Kadarius Toney in the second round, I'd have had no problem. Mm-hmm. Wound up that way, wound up fine for them. That's why they got a C+ instead of a D+. Because it worked out hunky-dunky.
Aaron Robinson also was a guy that we talked a lot about in the run-up to the draft. Cornerback out of UCF, goes to him in the third round. Thought that was a good pick.
And again, I liked a lot of these guys in the draft. I don't have any problem with the guys they picked. Like, I'm really happy that we got Rodarius Williams as late as we did. Again, it's a lot of these things, what we talk about, aren't necessarily, we're not knocking the actual player themselves because these guys are good. It's the part about where they're drafted and where do they fit, and when there's so many other glaring needs, how you could just completely ignore them. Like, why? I just don't understand what the hell the thinking is when you don't draft one single lineman.
The Giants just hit a nerve with him. We can't get him animated about shit else, but by God, we can light his candle on the Giants.
I freak out over my team. Syracuse basketball, we're going to be doing the same exact thing when we come around this year.
I've actually bared witness to that. I've never watched it. I've never actually seen him watch a Giants game. I've watched him watch a Syracuse game. And it leads to me saying a lot of things that they're not nice.
Yeah.
Because I like to poke.
He likes to poke the bear.
Especially because my college basketball team we're real good.
Look, this whole division was a dumpster fire last year.
Yeah.
No team in it, we kept saying throughout the season, none of these teams deserve to be in the playoffs. No, Washington turned it around there at the end and at least did put on a good performance when they did get into the playoffs. But the Giants, I look at this team and I don't hate it.
I don't either.
I
really
think
don't.
They really have a decent team that with a better quarterback, they could probably be a real threat.
I would like to see, whether it's I can't remember the guy's name. O'Shane. I never could pronounce his last name.
Zimenez?
Yeah, I never could pronounce it. It starts with an X. I don't know how to do that. I barely speak English. I can't pronounce words that start with X. But I look at the rest of this team and I go, there's talent here. And I love Joe Judge. I mean, I absolutely love Joe Judge. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to bang them as hard as you are, solely because you're a fan.
Yeah.
Fan is short for fanatic, and you're not necessarily realistic about your own team. I think you're better than you do.
And here's the thing. I do think we have an opportunity. What he just said, with a better quarterback, you have to protect this guy. If he has shown in small spurts that when he is protected and he does not get sacked, he can do things.
You can do some stuff.
He can do some stuff. I'm not saying that Daniel Jones is all world, but this was the year that you had to figure it out. This year, right here, you went out and paid the money for Kenny Golladay. You did these things. You got Kyle Rudolph to help block on the line to get Evan Ingram more free on some other things. We made some good decisions in the offseason. I was really impressed with what they did. I was starting to be like, I guess Gettleman's not so bad. And if you've seen my reaction, as soon as I heard that they traded back, I was happier than a pig in shit.
Right.
It's the thing about if you can't protect your quarterback, it doesn't freaking matter who else you got around him, period.
Well, now here's the thing, and I got to say something to what you said about Daniel Jones. There's not a fix to that. You didn't have a fix to that. You're stuck with Daniel Jones for 3 years. When you take a guy in the first round, unless it's Dwayne Haskins and he's an absolute dumpster fire, or Josh Rosen, you're stuck with him for 3 years. Now, what I will say is this is the first time I feel like you've given him a legitimate team. Mm-hmm. And I think, and I've been a massive Daniel Jones detractor. I think he can be good enough with this team to be the second or third best team in this division. And that's going to be good enough to borderline make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Because there are a lot of fucking dog babies in the NFC. And I got news for you. The Eagles are a dog baby. The Detroit Lions, they're doing it on purpose. The Atlanta Falcons are not going to be great. I'm afraid the Saints are going to regress aggressively. Mm-hmm. I think the Seahawks are going to regress aggressively. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now I'm not saying those teams are not equivalently bad. What I'm saying is I can see a path where the Giants are better than every team I just said.
Yeah.
And that puts you in playoff contention. And if this year ends and you're 8-9 or 9-8 and Daniel Jones doesn't turn the ball over 25 times, you're on the right path. You're on the right path. You go into the fourth year with him and you see what you got.
And see, I'm looking at it more about like seeing that Daniel Jones is in this third year. We either need to know what he's going to do or not. And if he's under pressure the entire year because you have nobody to block for him, then how can you, then we're going to be saying the same exact things that we said over last. Oh, well, he didn't really have the line. He had all these weapons, but he didn't really have the line. I don't want to hear it anymore. I want to do the thing that you say all the time. Either be really good or really, really bad. And if Daniel Jones isn't the case, move on. Yeah. We have 100,000 draft picks. But if you're going to do this, try to protect the kid at least.
Yeah, speaking of moving on, we need to do that.
Yeah, we do.
Another team. But I do want to reiterate what you just said. I think this is something I need to say because people watching these videos, obviously, if you don't know who we are, you have no idea of what my theory on this is. I have no interest in being mediocre.
Yeah.
None. I don't care about making the playoffs and getting bounced in the first round. I either want to be a Super Bowl contender or I want to suck something awful. That's it. The purgatory of the NFL is the worst place you can be because you can't get out of it. If you're in that 8 to 20th best team in the NFL, you're in hell, and you can't get out of it. It's the same teams on a cycle. Have you noticed it's the Denver Broncos, the Chicago Bears, the Minnesota Vikings, the LA Chargers? You notice that that's where they pick every year?
Yeah, like 12.
They're in that little, the meat of that sandwich every year. And that's what I don't want to do. And I think that line right there will make some people who swoop in to see their team grade videos understand what I'm saying a little bit more. Because I don't give a shit that you make the playoffs. I could care less. I want you, Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills were in this circle of hell forever. Then what did they do? They got the guy. Now they have the guy. And they've built the team around him.
Yeah.
By the way, the next person that tells me tells me I'm a hater because I'm a Jets fan. Okay, watch the Patriots video, then go back and watch the Dolphins and the Bills. I hate all three of those teams equivalently. Massively different take on the three of them.
And Jeremy would have been jumping through a table with the Bills Mafia last year during the playoffs.
100%.
He was
100%. The Asheville Chief of Police comes on our show every week. He's from Buffalo. He's one of our best friends.
Yeah.
I was rooting for Buffalo harder than anybody.
Yeah.
Here's what I don't think a lot of people that watch this show understand. I am a Jets fan, yes.
Yeah.
I root for one thing and one thing only. Interesting. That's all I care about. Because I have to fill 3 hours of content every day. And so does he, and so does he. That's what I care about.
Yeah.
I want New England to be good. I want Bill Belichick to hang around forever. Because I can make fun of his stupid hoodies and all the shitty draft picks he keeps making. I want this to happen forever and ever.
Let's get into the Washington football team.
Here we go.
Ron Rivera. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this draft class. And, of course, it all kicked off with the first pick at 19.
Which I hated.
Jamin Davis, the linebacker out of Kentucky. It's been by far the most panned pick I've seen across every site.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then it got way better. They went Jamin Davis, and then I think they tied Daniel Snyder to a chair and went, the big boys are drafting now.
Yeah.
The adults are drafting now, Mr. Snyder. It's time for you to shut the fuck up.
Right. Because
I feel like he sent that card in of his own volition, and Ron Rivera went, no.
Oh, wait.
But I will say, I have to say this about Jamin Davis. The comp on Thomas Davis. I get it. Mm-hmm. I don't agree with it, but I get it. Because I don't think his instincts are ever going to be that good. Here's the other thing I don't think people are thinking about with Jamin Davis. There were not a lot of linebackers in this class. Very few fit what they wanted to do. He doesn't have to be great.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's got a lot of players around him. Because his defense is stacked.
Mm-hmm.
And that was bar none their worst pick. Basically everything they did from there, home run, double, single that could have been legged into a double, another home run. I mean, the back end of the leadoff hitter was not great.
Yep.
The rest of the order was raking.
And there's no doubt about it. Sam Cosmi, the tackle going in the second round, was a great pick for them.
Immediate day one starter.
Yep.
Benjamin St. Juste, cornerback out of Minnesota.
Immediate day one starter.
De'Ami Brown, wide receiver out of North Carolina, also in the third round.
Anybody want to guess what I'm getting ready to say?
Immediate starter.
The De'Ami Brown draft pick, I think, was what I liked a lot because you had a plethora of okay receivers behind F1 and Curtis Samuel.
Yep.
You know, you had the Sims. I don't think they're even brothers, Cam Sims and Steve Sims. De'Ami Brown is someone who can play outside and inside, and they just added another weapon. And I think that's going to open up so much for all the other guys on this team. They're freaking sick. They're so sick. And it was something I was saying I was going to be worried about with Fitzpatrick. Are they going to have enough talent around him for him to actually do what Fitzpatrick does well and not have to force balls in and try to do too much?
It's always bad when you force balls in.
Yeah.
It's never good.
This team is freaking unbelievably scary, and they're definitely the best team in this division, and they're one of the best teams in the entire conference.
Yeah, the versatility on offense is going to be great. It's just going to be great to see this year with this team.
And I look at Benjamin St. Just as one of my favorite picks of the draft.
Yeah.
Long corner with great instincts. And then the 2 7th rounders, Shaka Toney and Dax Milne.
Right.
I think they both make the roster.
Yeah.
Killed it.
I really do. I think they both make the roster. They did a great job. It was had it not been Jamin Davis in the first round, as a matter of fact, I'm going to go one step further. I'm going to say the same thing about the Washington football team I said about your team. If they had taken Sam Cosme at 19 and taken Jamin Davis with the second rounder at 19, hey,
no problems.
And that's the bad thing is the ends justified the means. I just don't like that you took him that high, and I don't like the player. But of all places he could have gone, and I said this on draft night, there's no place he's going to be asked to do less, and he's going to be in a better situation to do more than Washington.
The biggest problem I had with that team last year was that they couldn't be as efficient on offense as their defense is. And now I feel like they have done enough to bring the offense kind of up toward the defensive level. They're by no means an even team across both sides of the ball, but they just got a lot better. Yeah. And I have no doubts that they will be they'll be the front runners in this division all year.
I would be remiss if I didn't say this. My lovely soon-to-be wife, first of all, Brian said happy birthday to his. It's my anniversary. So happy anniversary to my lovely soon-to-be wife that somehow puts up with my loud, gingery, bearded ass every day, and I don't know how. She's a saint. You should say prayers for her and light a candle on a daily basis. She commented in the comments that I care more about my fantasy players than I do about the Jets. She ain't wrong. You talk about my bias, I got news for you. If I drafted New England Patriots players, my bias would be, I'm biased to money. That's the only thing I'm biased to. I think that's why I like the Jets. Yeah. Because it gives me an excuse to wear green every day.
I'm Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene alongside Brian Haynes as well. We are the Sportsocracy. And let's talk about the NFC North. The NFC North is just, with the Aaron Rodgers thing,
it's wide open.
This whole division is just thrown into turmoil.
It's wide open.
Yeah.
However, you have two of the biggest rising superstar GMs in football.
Brad Holmes is one of them.
The way Brad Holmes was able to handle this thing,
oh man,
unbelievable job for the Detroit Lions, as they just sit there at number 9 and Penny Sewell falls right into their lap. It was the biggest softball.
Yeah.
The draft.
I was a little bit concerned that we were going to see the same old Lions, and it immediately changed. And not only that, after that, I thought, well, they did one thing right. They'll continue. No. This new regime is going to change the entire culture of this franchise. I think that you could see a path to where Detroit gets back to some relevancy very quickly. I'm not talking this year. Let's be clear here. They had a great draft. They're still going to be absolutely terrible. Mm-hmm. Next year, again, I'm going to use what Jeremy said in the Billis line, year away from being a year away. I could see this possibly be doing something.
In past Detroit Lions history, though, you would not have expected them to hit the ball out of the park on this one. I just kind of envision past Lions administrations still going with like Devontae Smith with this pick, even though Penny Sewell had fallen in their laps. But they did the right thing with the number 1 pick. And then they go back-to-back defensive tackles with Levi Onwuzurike, and then
Onwuzurike.
Yeah.
Say it how it's spelled.
You keep saying it wrong. It makes me want to say it wrong.
Nope. Say it how it's spelled. The thing that I like, and I don't love the Levi Onwuzurike pick.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. That's the reason they're not an A+. Because I don't love that pick. I actually like Aleem McNeil better. But what you did was you fortified closest to the ball. That's what good teams do. Mm-hmm. You build the lines before you build everything else. Yeah. It's like building a house. If you try to build the roof before you build the footers, you're going to have a problem. The Lions set a really stable foundation with guys closest to the ball, and they also did one other thing that's not going to be talked about.
Oh.
These are not guys that are going to contribute to extra wins this year. They're not going to win extra games because of Penei Sewell.
Yep.
But they will 3 years from now.
Yeah.
When he's protecting Sam Howell or Keaton Slovis or Tyler Shuck or whatever the case may be. I love everything they did. Amon-Ra St. Brown, home run in the fourth round.
That is 100%. I was waiting for him to come off the board, and when they came up the Detroit's pick, it wasn't even something I was thinking about. I just was thinking, what else are they going to do?
Right.
And they hit that one, and we all were like, holy crap. I mean, he is going to be – I think he's going to be a player in this league for a very long time, and I think you had to get at least a wide receiver in this draft, and if you could wait to the fourth round and get one that you could be a starter, well, come on.
They got my 7th wide receiver in the draft in the 4th round.
Yeah.
I also like the Derek Barnes pick. I know they got kind of panned on that.
Right.
That was a guy that was getting day 2 hype at one point.
Yeah.
And I know some people don't like that and they don't agree with that. I got news for you. It was happening. So you got good value. I'm good with it. I liked everything the Lions did.
And even in the 7th round, Jamar Jefferson, I mean, he's a guy who's going to play snaps. What?
What position does he play?
Running back.
I don't care. You've got Kerryon Johnson. You've got DeAndre Swift. Mm-hmm. What is he?
You got fat Jamal Williams.
Fat
Oh, yeah. Hell, I forgot about him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jamar Jefferson. I also didn't love Jamar Jefferson, just let that be known.
Yeah.
That's about where I had him going. A lot of people were talking about that being a great value. That wasn't to me, but okay.
I thought it was.
I don't hate it, but
I thought it was, and at least it will keep them competitive in all of the games that they lose.
Yeah.
In the lovely cake of draft that the Lions baked, Jamar Jefferson was the tassels hanging off the thing it was sitting on.
There you go.
And that's probably being too
And they were
nice.
unedible.
Yeah, they weren't like sprinkles tassels.
Right, but build at the lines, and that's the good start to your franchise rebuild.
Correct.
All right, now let's talk about the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, he's. I surely thought we were going to start with Justin Fields, but nope. Go ahead, keep going. Minnesota Vikings.
No, we were just going in reverse order.
Okay,
That's how we
that's
usually do these. The Vikings, they were able to pull the move of the first round. Mm-hmm. They traded down from 14. They got extra draft capital. And the guy that they should have taken at 14 was still there at 23.
Before I put the graphic on the screen, do you have a celebratory button over there? The third A+ I have ever given out is the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, this is big news, folks.
That's the third one I've given out in 10 years.
Big news.
I had to go back. I thought I'd done 4. Apparently, it's even rarer than I thought it was. I've given 3 A+ ever. Minnesota is 3.
Yep.
And you know why? Because there are caveats to how you get an A+ from me. Number 1, your first pick has to be the guy you came into the draft trying to get.
Yep.
That's Christian Darrisaw. B, you have to add draft capital in some shape, form, or fashion. They did that with the number 1 pick. Mm-hmm. They traded down 9 spots with my team, added 2 third-rounders, and still got the guy they wanted.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then from there, it has to be high upside. Because once you get later in the draft, I'm all about taking guys that, I mean, let's be really freaking honest here. Half these guys are not going to be on the team 2 years. Mm-hmm. That's just the way the draft works. Mm-hmm. The 4th, 5th, 6th round guys, the 7th round guys have about a 25% chance of being on your roster for more than 2 years. What I look at with the Vikings, and it is from pillar to post, every guy they took has a chance to be on this roster 2 years from now.
And I'm a little surprised because you weren't extremely happy with the Keelan Mond pick.
No, I was. That's the one pick that almost took away their A+.
Okay.
I considered it. And then I remembered something.
Uh-huh.
They've been pretty good with Kirk Cousins.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kellen Mond's more talented than Kirk Cousins is. Mm-hmm. Period.
Gives you more options.
And here's what, and this had to be stated to me for me. I didn't come up with this myself. Somebody said it to me. What are they going to do that's better? You think you're going to free agent and sign in Minnesota?
Nope.
I was talking about them trading for Drew Lock. I like Kellen Mond better than I like Drew Lock.
Absolutely.
So I had to. The horse had to be led to water to drink, but I got there.
There you go.
And then just every other pick. I mean,
God.
Chaz Surratt, the upside on him is stupid.
Yeah.
Wyatt Davis, that's the number one actual definitive guard in the draft. Because Vera Tucker, some teams considered him a tackle. I mean, Vera Tucker would have been the number one guard. You know,
Right.
Now knowing that he was drafted to be a guard. You know, Patrick Jones is a guy I really liked out of Pittsburgh. Kene Nwangu, that's a high-end special teamer. I know they got banged for that pick. A lot of places really didn't like it. I did. Because he'll tell you, I told him about this guy 2 months ago. Because he popped on tape, and I went, that's Matthew Slater 2.0. That's what he's going to be in this league.
I would love to see their board, like the dream list board that they had in the war room, because I will bet they got at least 7 guys on that board.
Yeah, exactly.
Because every pick they came up, it went need. Now, granted, they had a lot of needs, but they filled them, and I agree with you. I'll be surprised if there's not 7 guys on this team that are still here making an impact in 4 years.
They took 7 of my top 150 players on the board.
Yeah. Wow.
A+, no doubt. And by the way, Amir Smith Marset, pick of the draft.
Yeah.
The best value pick of the draft, it's not close to me. I had a 3rd round grade on him, and I think I was even being light for how much I like the kid. And you got him in the 5th.
Yeah.
And the Vikings hoping to be able to, crawl out of the cellar of the NFC North, and it may be a lot easier now that they've got, a rookie quarterback in Chicago, and Green Bay may not have a quarterback for much longer. The whole division is just kind of in turmoil right now.
Right.
The Chicago Bears, though, their first pick, they traded up. They had a quarterback on the board that they wanted to go get, and I think it's an improvement over anything that they had and anything that they've had in a long time.
I'm so ready for this.
Do you have the dun 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 button?
We don't have one of those.
All right, do something close
We'll
to
add it to the list.
Do something close to it.
Jason, whatever the one that was like.
The scary one?
Yeah.
That has to be at least 1 letter grade higher than you thought it was going to be.
Wow.
It is. It's much higher than I thought it was going to be, because as much as you have panned the Justin Fields pick, I thought it was going to be a solid D.
And I don't like it.
I did.
I'm not going to lie, I don't like it. I don't like that you traded up for Justin Fields. I don't like that you allowed Matt Nagy to do it. There's one caveat. And I'm riding with this grade at this on the pretense of what I'm getting ready to say is right. Matt Nagy is much safer than I thought he was. That's the one caveat. If you fire him 5 games into the season, D-. It goes right back to that. Because you allowed somebody that you had on the hot seat to alter your future draft capital. You're going to install an offense with him, and then he's going to have to learn another one in a year. That has a recipe for bad disaster written all over it. Now, if you believe more in Matt Nagy, which by this you have to, you have to, or you're morons. Right. I don't know which one it is.
Right. What franchise is going to allow you to give up future first-round draft picks?
I know a franchise that did that. I know a franchise that allowed a GM to do that and then fired him 2 weeks after the draft.
Yeah.
Hi. You want to know what happened to Sam Darnold? That.
Welcome to being a Jets fan.
Yeah, that's what I'm scared of, is that Ryan Pace is on unsteady footing, Matt Nagy's on unsteady footing, and you're going to have Justin Fields learn 2 offenses in 2 years, because that's not a recipe for success.
And they go out and they go 2-4 and they're fired after week 6, and then it's just like
Patrick Holt and my wife in the comments just killing it. Tank's always looking for a hard day.
Oh.
Good for you. I love you people so much.
Wow. I thought we were tighter than that, Amy.
Oh,
Patrick Holt did. Patrick Holt said the same. They said the same thing at the same time.
I don't expect anything less than Patrick. But I'm a little disappointed. Anyhow, after the Justin Fields, I thought the Justin Fields pick was what they had to do. They had to go out and get a quarterback, and they did it.
I have to say this about Justin Fields. I don't know how his game plays in Chicago. I don't like that they cut his left tackle the minute the draft was over.
Yeah.
I don't see Tevin Jenkins as a left tackle. I never did. I saw him as a right tackle. I said, how many times did I say that in the pre-draft process? This has nothing to do with the Bears. This is not a shot at them. This is, you took a combination of players here that terrify me. Now, with that being said, is he better than Andy Dalton? 100%.
Yeah.
I can't talk out of both sides of my mouth and say, just ride with Andy Dalton when I've been killing it all offseason. If you've got to have a better quarterback back than that.
Yeah.
Well, you managed to get the one quarterback you could get that was better than that. Do I love the fit, and do I absolutely see a potential that this goes historically badly? Yes. Yes, I do.
Tevin Jenkins in the second round, their best pick by far of the draft.
I love that pick. I just don't love that they plan on playing him at left tackle.
Right.
Now, he is a bully of an offensive tackle, and you know what? Maybe with the correct coaching, he can be. I did not see that. I did not see a left tackle on film with him. Mm-hmm. They did. And I'll be honest with you, I like the Larry Borum pick, too. I think Larry Borum can be a starting tackle in this league. I said that on draft day.
Yes, you did.
I mean, I like that from 217 to 228, within 11 picks, they picked up Khalil Herbert, Daz Newsome, and Thomas Graham Jr. I mean, that's 3 quality picks in the sixth round. It's
Khalil Herbert is the second best running back on this team.
Yeah.
And you got him at 633.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
The only thing that I didn't like about their draft was I would have liked to see them go after some wide receivers higher in the draft. Because if you're going to have a young quarterback, you need to give him weapons to throw to. He's got Allen Robinson. You got him Daz Newsome, who I like.
And Darnell Mooney and Anthony Miller.
Yeah.
And I still believe I got news for you. First of all, this team's going to be running more two tight end sets than you think.
Cole Kmet's going to do something.
With Jimmy Graham, and I almost called him Jeremy Greene, for the love of God. I got 2 more days, and I am on vacation for 4 days. I like Cole Kmet. I think they're going to run more 2 tight end sets. Mm-hmm. I think you're going to see more of Khalil Herbert than you think you will. I think they're going to run the ball a lot, trying to make this easy for Justin Fields. I don't hate it. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I wanted to hate it, and I thought I was going to.
Yeah.
And when I set out to do grades, I was like, it started at a D, and it actually got higher than this. I had to step back a step and go, just remember it's Justin Fields. Remember it's Justin Fields. It's the guy that you had at 5 among the quarterbacks. Just remember that.
See, there is some sanity creeping into that brain of yours. I like it. I like it.
He's still my 5th quarterback. Do I need to pull up that list of 5th quarterbacks in the draft again?
No, you don't need to pull up that list of 5th quarterbacks. We all know the history of it, but never mind. We're not getting into it.
Weren't no fun. They weren't good. You ought not have done that. What'd they kill Justin for?
They didn't even make a pick. Yeah, they didn't even make a pick, and the Green Bay Packers stole the show on draft night. As the news came out about Aaron Rodgers, and the future of that franchise is spotty at best right now. We don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to return. We don't know if he's going to retire, if he's going to get traded. We don't know what's going to happen right now. And the Green Bay Packers went into the draft with this like, fuck it. Since Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to be here, we're not going to do anything to help him out.
One of the lowest draft grades I have.
Yeah.
I really struggled to find a pick that I actually liked. Because there weren't many. I do like Tadarius Slayton. Mm-hmm. I said in the pre-draft that I think he has the ability to be a high-level player in the NFL in the right system. I think this is the right system.
Right.
I don't absolutely hate the Amari Rodgers pick. Mm-hmm. I don't absolutely hate it.
But you kind of do.
But I kind of do. Just solely because there's so many receivers in this draft, and that's who you wind up with as your first. I do not understand. And look, I'm one that has said the skill position guys, there's so many of them at this point, you can take them later.
Right.
I have not killed Green Bay for not doing that. What I do not understand is you had Rondale Moore, you had Elijah Moore, you had, I'm just trying to think all the ones that were on the board, De'Ami Brown. All of these weapons are on the board at 29.
Yep.
And you took Eric Stokes, who may or may not be the best corner that came out of his own school.
Yeah.
He's not.
Georgia fan, I got news for you. I don't give a damn who you are. You haven't watched more of Eric Stokes than this one right here has.
Yeah.
And neither have I, and I will admit that. I watched the scouting film, and I saw a late second, early third round grade. You took him at the end of the first.
Yeah, I felt Tyson Campbell was the best cornerback coming out of Georgia, but I mean, it's not that I hate Stokes. I like Stokes. He's a very physical corner, and I think he could be. I think he could be a great partner for Jair Alexander, but you should have taken him in the second round because I think he still could have been there. Now I've heard that there were some other teams that were really high on Eric Stokes.
Buffalo got them. I'm going to go ahead and tell you. I'm AFC East Jets fan, reasonably well connected to the AFC East. The Buffalo Bills got them. Nobody will ever admit this. You will never hear somebody go, we did that.
Oh,
The Buffalo Bills floated that they were taking Eric Stokes.
Right.
Because they knew Green Bay liked him. And they were afraid Green Bay was going to take who they wanted in front of them.
Yeah.
Ah.
And it wound up not being true, or it wound up not happening that way because the Bills took Greg Rousseau, and I don't think Green Bay was taking him under any scenario. But yeah, Buffalo floated that on purpose. They were never taking Eric Stokes at 30.
My grade is for once on par with yours with a draft class. I went with a D for them as well because I can't believe you didn't take a tackle. Like you lost offensive line talent in this in this free agency period, and you didn't address the left tackle position. To me, that was scary.
Tevin Jenkins, that's the guy. I'll be honest with you, they were hard. They had that hard D that Tank was looking for Tevin Jenkins throughout the entire process. Yeah. And then you don't take him, and I don't understand it. Like the Aaron Rodgers thing. You know what? I'm gonna say the same thing I said on the ESPN Radio show. If Jordan Love could play his way out of a wet paper bag, he'd already be the starter of this team. And they would have shipped Aaron Rodgers out.
Yeah.
They know. And it's not the first time I've seen this with a quarterback. They 100% got Jordan Love in the building and went, we fucked up.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's the exact opposite of what I heard about Pat Mahomes. With Mahomes, as soon as he got in the building, they went, oh, shit, he's good.
Yeah.
Green Bay's watched Jordan Love. There's a reason he wasn't even the third quarter. That he was the third quarterback last year.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this. There was reports coming out of camp where people were like, they're trying to hide this dude because he doesn't even belong in the league.
That came out last year.
Not even be like a serviceable backup or anything. He doesn't belong in the league. Listen, they've done this to themselves. Yeah. They've done this. They've shunned at. Now, listen, Aaron Rodgers can be a little prick every once in a while. You know what I mean? And he can do that. I mean, the guy just shunned off his whole family. But here's the thing: you have he was the freaking MVP.
Yep.
And you went into this offseason where it was kind of contentious last year. And then all he wanted you to do was say, hey, I just want to know that I'm the quarterback of this future here. And you know that Jordan Love is not the quarterback of the future here. You know he can't play in this league. And you still looked at Aaron Rodgers because you want to be these guys that are blah, 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 blah. And you said, we're just going to keep going year for year. I don't blame Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't need to play football right now, guys. He doesn't.
I'm going to be honest with him. I've seen a lot of quarterbacks in my day. I don't think I've ever seen a quarterback this talented that has been disrespected this often.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'll be honest with you. I think the Brett Favre thing is in the back of Aaron Rodgers' head.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I think he watches how Brett got basically exiled to Siberia by this team for a long time because he wound up in Minnesota. And I think he looks at that and goes, is that what's getting ready to happen to me? And he's been saying it in his head for an extended period of time. A.J. Hawk basically came out on the McAfee show that Rodgers is not retiring. That's not going to happen. And I'll be honest with you, I agree.
Yeah.
I think there's two solutions here. Either Green Bay satiates him or he's the new starting quarterback of the Las Vegas Raiders. That's the only two ways I think this plays out.
Well, if they wanted to satiate him, they missed their opportunity.
Yeah, because
they should have done something in the draft to help him out.
Well,
and you didn't. See, that's the thing. Is like if you know that Jordan Love is not the guy,
yep.
If you know he can't play in this league, why do you continue to feed into this? We don't give a shit what Aaron Rodgers wants. We're not going to give him what he wants.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen this both ways now with the Green Bay treating Aaron Rodgers this way, and then Jeremy, you brought up the other day when we were talking about the first round and the pairing of college receivers with their quarterbacks from college. If that's what the quarterback wants, if the quarterback wants a tool, why would you not give it to him?
Yeah.
And they have refused now 2 drafts in a row to do that for Aaron Rodgers. So why does he even care?
And I think this is what happens when you don't have a true owner. You don't have a true owner. I mean, after there was reports that the president and the GM and all these guys were flying on separate planes to go meet with Aaron. Yeah. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Gutekunst, the GM, has been going rogue here for an extended period.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's no doubt. You cannot tell me that your scouting department is telling you this. I talk to too many scouts. Either you have scouts that are viewing completely different shit than the rest of us are.
Yeah.
or you've got a GM that's kind of going rogue. And then the reports started coming out that he was going rogue.
Yeah.
And I went, that makes sense.
It's just amazing to me that without Aaron Rodgers, to me, this team is irrelevant.
Done.
And
100%.
And so you know it. Mm-hmm. But you're not going to give Aaron Rodgers that power because it's too much power to give one player that they can get everything that they want.
If there's a player you give it to, it's him. And you got Devontae Adams already coming out and tweeting like, yeah, you don't know what you got till it's gone, because he's reading the tea leaves. He knows what's happening. He knows Aaron Rodgers will not take another snap for the Green Bay Packers. It's over. It's done with. Call your mom.
Yeah. He leaves, and this is going to be bad. And if he leaves, this is the Chicago Bears division. And think about that.
Yeah. Oh, I know. And that, well, yeah. Maybe. Yeah.
Who else?
Minnesota. Minnesota could probably win this
Minnesota going to be the winner of this division?
They would win it. They would win the division if Aaron Rodgers isn't there.
I firmly disagree with that.
Yeah, you're wrong. It sucks to be wrong, but somebody has to be in every argument, and it rarely is me.
Ring that bell like 6 times, dude.
No.
Yeah, that was for you.
Yeah.
The bell had already rung for me.
The Chicago Bears, I wouldn't be surprised to see them win this division if Green Bay shits the bed on this whole Aaron Rodgers thing.
Yeah, with that button, like every race Tank's ever been in his life, he was a day late and $1 short.
Oh.
And 500 feet behind the other kids. Oh.
All right, let's get into the NFC South. I'm Tank Spencer. Jeremy Greene's alongside Brian Haynes as well. The NFC South obviously won last year by the New Orleans Saints. Super Bowl champion did come out of this division as well, but I won't make a big stink about it.
But you had to mention it.
Of course. The Carolina Panthers are a team on the rise. The Atlanta Falcons, they're along for the ride. I mean, they're kind of stuck. The Atlanta Falcons are kind of stuck right now with an aging quarterback, an aging wide receiver that they can't come off of, although the trade rumors have been out there about Julio Jones being shipped out somewhere, although it is the start of a new era. They finally have a coach that we believe in now with Arthur Smith, and he got the tight end of his dreams with the number 4 pick in the draft. Kyle Pitts going to the Atlanta Falcons immediately makes that offense scarier.
Yeah.
Agreed. Kyle Pitts is basically going to be a third wide receiver for this team. Hayden Hurst will be the blocking tight end. You're going to see a ton of Kyle Pitts played on the outside. I mean, he's Calvin Johnson. That's exactly what I think Kyle Pitts is. I think he is a freak of nature that would have been a top 5 player as a wide receiver if he had never played tight end in his life. Mm-hmm. I love this kid. I love this pick. And I'll be honest with you, I like a lot of what the Falcons did.
Yeah.
I like Richie Grant as a day 1 starter. Mm-hmm. The Jalen Mayfield thing, I've made my feelings on Jalen Mayfield pretty clear.
I was going to say here, Darren Hall was something that was like, I didn't know much about him coming in, and at 108, I thought it was a little high.
It was a little high, and the reason that he was the riskiest pick is because I think he's going to have to play more than you want him to. Because you've got a Kendall Sheffield, Isaiah Oliver, A.J. Terrell, Darren Hall. That's your first 4 corners. So 3 of them are going to have to play a lot.
Yeah.
Sheffield, I know. A.J. Terrell, I know. It's the 4th one that I'm not so sure of.
I just want to know. I want to throw.
Or 3rd one, I'm not so sure of.
What, as a defense going against the Atlanta Falcons, what do you do? Who are you going to have? I mean, you have Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, and Kyle Pitts now. Mm-hmm. Every one of those guys can kill you on a game-to-game basis.
And Russell Gage.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
He doesn't suck at football either.
How do you game plan for that? If you double team, if you send guys, I mean, just the draft of Kyle Pitts immediately helps his team out, because I think Mike Davis is a serviceable enough running back that's going to give you a lot more than Todd Gurley did last year.
I'm shocked how much shade there's been thrown at Mike Davis. Uh-huh. I think that is absolutely short-sighted as shit.
Yeah.
The amount of hate that I've seen at Mike Davis. Oh, why did you not take a running back?
Yep.
Because you have a running back.
Yeah.
I think you have a starting running back in this league.
And you still have Brian Hill, who does well as a backup. He wasn't like terrible. I'm not saying he was like a complete utter failure every time he got Okay, maybe he was during German. I'm not going to say he was. But you can't.
No, he doesn't matter.
Yeah,
he doesn't matter.
You can't game plan for this team anymore. I don't know what the hell you're going to do.
First of all, Brian Hill's not on this team. I do need to. I got to state that.
He's not?
He was a free agent.
Oh, well, I apologize.
Yeah, he gone. Currently,
it's maybe that way I got the look.
No. That's actually you got that look because you actually thought Brian Hill was good at football, which I don't. I firmly don't.
He's fine. Just like I think Mike Davis is fine. I don't think he's anything to write home about. But he is a serviceable running back that they can use to pick up some yardage. That's not going to be the focal point of this offense.
No,
they're not going to require Mike Davis to do a whole lot.
No, and you're going to have defenses spread incredibly thin. Mike Jones. Who? Mike Davis is a really aggressive runner, and I think he'll be just fine. And they're going to add another running back. Just like the Dolphins. Yep. I didn't kill the Dolphins for not taking a running back because somebody traded in front of them. Mm-hmm. Now, who are you going to take? What, do you feel great about Kenny Gainwell? I mean, I would have liked that, but didn't work out that way.
Their riskiest pick, Darren Hall?
Solely because of what I just said.
Yeah.
He's going to be asked to do I think he's going to be asked to do a lot, and I don't necessarily think he's ready for that.
Okay.
I'm really curious where they slot in Jalen Mayfield. Like, do they think he can be do they think he slots in as a starting guard? Which is entirely possible.
Yeah. I would say he could serve
I wouldn't
that
hate
role.
it. And I look at Drew Dahlman and Matt Hennessy, you're pretty set at center for an extended period of time. Mm-hmm. I like a lot of what the Falcons did. I think it was a good weekend for the Atlanta Falcons.
I think you were very, very fair with your B- draft grade for the Atlanta Falcons. The Carolina Panthers.
Here we go.
Man, they killed it. The Carolina Panthers absolutely killed the draft, in my opinion. The J.C. Horn pick, Terrace Marshall, Brady Christensen, Tommy Tremble, Chuba Hubbard, Davian Nixon. To me, that's the best haul they could have hoped for in the first 6 picks.
Are you ready for the grade?
B+.
This is an A. This is no doubt an A.
You're wrong.
How?
It's fine. You're allowed to be wrong, but you're wrong.
I'm not wrong.
Because you took a guy at 8 that you took too damn high. Straight up, you took him too high. You could, to me, the one thing I wanted to see Carolina do, and what exactly this would have yielded and where you would have gone, J.C. Horn was in too much demand. There was too much demand for Patrick Surtain and J.C. Horn, and I'm going to level with you. I don't think it was that. I'm not going to say it wasn't a need. I don't think you had to do it at 8. I don't. And I can't not love your first pick. And I love the player. Mm-hmm. I have no qualm with J.C. Horn. Mm-hmm. This is just exactly like, all right, so add San Francisco taking Mac Jones at 3. I'd have killed that.
Yeah.
Why? Because the pick is so valuable, and you used it on a guy that I don't value to be that valuable.
Right.
Philadelphia would have given you the moon to get up here. Several other teams would have too, because they were in love with J.C. Horn. And then you move back, you add pieces, you put things around Sam Darnold. I love what they did from there on. And again, I can't say this enough. I don't hate the player at all.
Yeah.
I just thought it was high.
You just thought it was high.
And I got news for you. Taking a guy 6 spots too high, which is what J.C. Horn was for me.
Yeah.
J.C. Horn was my 14th best player in this draft.
That was getting ready to be my next question, is how big of a deal is that 6
spots in the top 15 is aggressive.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is a big damn difference between the guy that's 8 and the guy that's 14 in draft order.
Right.
Again, I don't hate this, and I don't claim to know the inner workings of the Carolina Panthers depth chart. Seems like everybody and their brother was talking about they need another whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
You know, they need another shutdown corner. Don't like Dante Jackson, whatever the case may be.
Right.
Well, you got one. You slid this guy right in. You know what I don't like? You went 9 picks in a row on defense across 2 draft classes. I don't like that. That's a lot of young guys that you're expecting to do a lot of things right off the jump. Now that I've said the negative of it,
Yep.
Adam Black, I hate that line, and I've heard it so many times. I've lost all credibility. No, I'm just not. I'm unbiased as hell. I'm unbiased as hell. Now, what would I have liked them to do better? I don't have a great answer to that. I wanted it to be Penny Sewell. Actually, that's a lie. I do have an answer to that. I know exactly what they should have done.
Trade up.
Trade back. Let somebody else take J.C. Horn,
yeah.
and you take Rashawn Slater. That's what you should have done. That's A+. Had they done that, that's an A+, not a B+. Because Rashawn Slater was the 7th best player in this draft to me.
I like J.C. Horn. I think I will agree. I think it was Adam Black that said it in the comments. I think Scott Fitterer is building something real special.
He is.
On this defensive side of the ball.
And I agree with that. I 100% agree with what you just said. Name me the left tackle of this team.
Yeah, can't do
I'll
it.
wait. Greg Little and Cam Irving and Brady Christensen are the top 3 guys.
Yep.
First of all, I had Christensen as a guard. Cam Irving is best as a guard, and Greg Little has been a fucking disaster. So you're putting a quarterback that was behind a terrible line and made bad decisions behind a line whose left tackle is Greg Little. That's it.
Right.
That's it. You had to come out of this with a solution at left tackle. You don't have one.
Yeah.
And there are not that many solutions out there. I mean, all right, so let's say they go sign Charles Leno. How great do you feel about that? Did you ever watch the Bears and go, damn, that left tackle is good Lord, that guy should be a Pro Bowler.
No, you didn't.
No. And that's my one qualm. Now, with that being said, and people kept saying, oh, you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. No, there's positives and negatives to everything.
Yes.
Right.
I love the haul the Panthers added. This is one of the highest draft grades I have.
Yeah.
I mean, they're in the top 5 or 7 overall of draft grades.
Right.
Universally, agree with it wholeheartedly. You did a great job. I just really don't like that you don't have a left tackle.
I mean, Shi Smith at 204, I think, is someone that could actually contribute to this team almost right away.
Most definitely.
That is my favorite pick of the draft.
Yeah.
You stole Shi Smith in the 6th round. And that's a guy that I'm telling you right now, he's better than people tell you he is.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have been screaming Shi Smith for as long as I can remember. And I'm really excited that now we get really good access to him being right down the road.
I also love the story of apparently Mrs. Rule was the one that drafted Chuba Hubbard.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I was unaware
apparently
of that.
she sent Matt a text message when they were coming up in the 4th round and said, you need to draft Chuba Hubbard right now.
Yeah, that's actually what cost them.
So he did.
That cost them an A-, is that Julie Rule picked Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave that one alone.
Oh, you want me to explain it? Chuba Hubbard shouldn't have been a 4th round pick.
Yeah. No,
I'm tired of the
not saying
ass
that
kiss fest that has been Chuba Hubbard.
I'm not
He
Chuba
was
Hubbard.
a fucking nightmare on film.
Yeah.
I understand he was so good the year before. In a spread offense that is in no way indicative of what the NFL looks like.
Yep.
That was not a good pick. And the fact that you keep putting it out there that a coach's wife is who made that pick, that's not a good look.
That's not a good look.
That's what
I'm leaving alone is the wife pick.
I mean, I don't care. I mean, Julie Rule may know more about football than anybody that ever watches any show we ever do.
Yeah. Right.
I don't give a shit about that. You're putting it out there that a coach's wife made a pick.
In the 4th round.
Have you ever noticed that nobody's ever done that before?
Yeah.
You've never seen a team do that. You know why? Because that sounds really odd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds really strange, especially when you took a long snapper in the 6th round. That gets into, are you outsmarting yourself here? Because that doesn't make any damn sense.
All the talent that Carolina was able to put together in this draft, though, and in the last draft, and kind of in the draft before that, I think they are building something special in Carolina, and they will be ruling this division in 2 years.
So hold on, I have to answer 2 of the questions in the comments.
Okay.
Will Terrace Marshall be able to stay healthy? I do believe so. My knock on Terrace Marshall was not injuries. It was his ability to get off the line of scrimmage because he's not a guy that deals well with press. And I'm afraid teams are going to do that a lot. Here's the thing. He's got Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore on the other side. That's fine. I was afraid he was going to wind up in Detroit.
Yeah.
A lot of my dings on Terrace Marshall were assuming he was going to be a 2. He's a 3. I'm good. The Terrace Marshall pick was great.
Yeah.
Adam Black asked, so why is Horn the riskiest player they drafted if you like him as a player? It's very simple. Because you took a cornerback at 8.
Yeah.
That's ridiculously high for a corner. Let's play a fun game. Would you like me to tell you who the top the corners that have been taken in the top 10 the last 5 years are?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, 5 hour-long years. Got to actually search it right. Don't really care what the Green Bay Packers did looking for a cornerback.
Right.
A CB, not a GB.
Right.
Yeah.
Hitting a home run on a cornerback in the 1st round is tough.
Mm-hmm. It is tough.
It's not like J.C. Horn and Deion Sanders. You
No.
know what I mean?
I really liked him.
And to me, I would think part of this would be not only is it a risk taking a cornerback so high in the draft, but it's also you're taking the risk of adding that piece to your defense rather than getting the tackle that you could have had to bolster your offensive line. That's the risk you're taking. You're not so much taking the risk on the player himself, because we like the player himself.
Yeah.
It's the position in which you took him that makes him a risky pick.
Here's the corners that have gone in the top 10. Last year's Jeff Okudah and C.J. Henderson. They were both absolute disasters as rookies. Denzel Ward in Cleveland in 2018.
That was good.
That's worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
I had Denzel Ward rated higher than J.C. Horn. 2017, Jamal Adams. That's a safety, but let's see. Jalen Ramsey at 5. J.C. Horn will never be Jalen Ramsey. Ever. You go all the way back to Patrick Peterson. You better be a damn elite corner, which I think Patrick... First of all, that's the other part of this. I think you took the inferior corner ahead of the better one. I think Patrick Surtain is the better corner, and I've said that the whole time. And you just send him to a place that he could really succeed. So why is it, long answer short to Adam Black's question, why is it such a risky proposition? Everything I just said. You didn't wind up with a tackle, which you could have had in Rashawn Slater. I understand you wanted Penny Sewell. I wanted Penny Sewell for you, frankly. And because you took him ahead of Patrick Surtain, which could make you look not so bright not too long from now. Because Pat Surtain is day one, no doubt, ready to slot in.
I've heard some things coming out of, definitely out of Charlotte and stuff like that are saying that the J.C. Horn was the pick over Patrick Surtain. A lot of that had to do with the South Carolina, like they were closer to home.
If
they
that's
got
true.
more tape on it, and I hope that's not the case.
I was about to say, if that's true, you have a massive deficiency in your scouting.
Yeah, exactly, because that's too high at that point. But there's a lot of people saying that, and I don't believe that's true. I want to debunk that as well.
I don't either.
What,
and I was making jokes about the Julie Rule thing. I think it's a weird look.
Right.
And then you have the draft pick where you call the guy and he's so shocked that you drafted him. Like, those are all good for social media clips. They don't look good to insiders and to scouts, because I've had a couple people ask me about that. Because we're in a Carolina market. So we know that team pretty well.
Right.
I've gotten a couple text messages of, all right, so you got a coach's wife making a pick, and you got another guy that you called, and he was so shocked that he was being drafted that he didn't think it was Matt Rule. That's weird. That's a weird thing, and you're making a lot about that.
It is weird.
Has there ever been a long snapper selected?
There were several. They started a run on them. There were like 3 of them in 8 picks.
I was surprised to even see that. I guess that was just...
He's a great long snapper, by the way. I do have to admit that.
He's going to be the next Carolina Panthers Pro Bowler.
Well, I've been trying to tell you for months now that both of your kids need to be knocking beer cans off a barstool long snapper, because that's the career for them right there. Both of them.
We're going to be practicing that one, no doubt. Let's talk about the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are going through quite the change here with Drew Brees now retiring. And in their draft, to me, it was a reach at the 28 pick for Peyton Turner. What?
No, I'm just looking at the board. I need you to hit that yellow button. There you go.
Yep.
Do you realize how hard it was for me to not just put Gary Busey's face on this? Because I really wanted
I'm sure. Oh, my God.
Peyton Turner.
I've seen some bad drafts.
Peyton Turner at 28, Pete Werner at 60, Paulson Adebo, Ian Book, Landon Young, Kawan Baker. None of that jumps off the page at you.
Ian Book.
I didn't even think Ian Book would get drafted.
I did not have a draftable grade on Ian Book. You took him in the 4th round.
Let alone with a team that's got, whatever we want to call Taysom Hill, but you have Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill on a team, and you are losing so many people because of the salary cap hell you're in, and you went and drafted a quarterback who won't ever see the field in round 4.
I do find it funny that New Orleans now has 2 quarterbacks that can't throw and one that can't stop throwing to the wrong team. That's a hell of a quarterback room you have there.
Oh, God.
Now, and here's the thing. I don't hate the Peyton Turner pick. I actually really like the kid. And he has been climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing. He was really productive at the Senior Bowl. A lot of teams really liked him. That's not really the pick I'm dinging you for. I'm okay with that. If you think he's an elite pass rusher, you took him over Greg Rousseau, which blows my mind. You took him over Azeez Ojulari. You took him over Jason Owa. or Odafe Owa. I'm going to get that in my brain eventually. You took him over a lot of guys that I liked better than him. I'm fine with that. If that's your guy, get your guy. That's my line in the draft. It has been for years, but it certainly has been for the last 6 days.
Yeah.
It's where you went from there that I don't really understand. Pete Werner is about as athletic as I am. I think in a foot race, he and I would be damn close to each other because he's about as athletic as a wet fart.
Oof.
Good linebacker.
Yeah.
He's a fine technician. He don't fit this defense at all. You know who fits this defense? DeMario Davis. Super multiple. Not the biggest guy. DeMario Davis not the biggest guy. And Pete Werner, yeah, he's real tall. 6'3", 240, all that good shit. He's not athletic enough to play in this defense. He's going to be a 2-down linebacker, and you took him in the second round. And I'll be honest with you, he was the third best linebacker on his own team, in my opinion. I like Justin Hilliard better, who went unfreaking drafted.
Yeah, crazy.
And Baron Browning, who went after this. I don't like it. Saints fans are not going to like this. I'm sorry. And you know what? Sean Payton's done a great job of drafting guys over the years, so maybe I'm wrong. I'm just telling you what I saw on tape. Paulson Adebo, I don't hate it. There's a lot of projection with him.
Yep.
But I don't hate it.
And you traded up and you lost draft capital to get him.
That was your best pick of the draft.
Yeah.
Then you take an undraftable quarterback in the 4th round. Do you realize how many picks went off between the Adebo pick and Landon Young in the 6th round? And the one guy you took was Ian Book?
Yeah.
A guy that universally, every scout I talked to said he will not get drafted. He'll be a priority free agent. Teams will bring him in as a camp arm.
Yeah.
And you took him in the 4th round. I mean, there's nothing about him that I see that says NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
Nothing. And you need depth. And you took a freaking quarterback.
It's the one knock that I have for them is that we already believe, as a table, as a group here, that New Orleans is heading for a downfall.
Yeah.
100%.
And you did nothing in this draft to make me feel like you're headed on the straight and narrow, the path back to relevance after you just lost the best player you've ever had.
Kevin Vick said that's the first not applicable I've seen.
Yeah.
That's because it's the first one that's been up there.
Yeah.
Because it's the first time I've looked at a player and went, you overdrafted them all. I can't say you had a good value. If I'd said one, it would have been Paulson Adebo, and you took him too high.
Yeah.
You know, he was in the early 120s in my rankings. You took him, what, at 90?
105.
105. So, I mean, that's not good value. I can't say there's the best value when you overdrafted everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I can only imagine what the comments from Saints fans are going to look like.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to pound you for it, but that's all right. They'll have
Who
to pound
cares?
the rest of us because this is just it's
Three
not a good
years
one.
from now, when you're 5-12, just remember I said it.
Yep.
Speaking of a team that's going to be 5-12 in 3 years.
Hey, fire them cannons! Get them rings while you can. The
5-12's being super nice.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the defending world champions. You know, what do you give a team that has everything?
Better than you did.
Better than we did? What was
Better than
it?
you did.
C minus? Okay. I mean, I'll settle for that. Again, there were a couple of good picks in here, but you had to justify them. And that was the thing that I don't like. And especially with your first round draft pick. When you draft a guy that your fan base immediately looks at and goes, I don't know that we should have done that. Especially with a guy like, Azeez Ojulari that was still on the board.
Yeah.
Obviously, as a Georgia fan, I would love to see that happen. But they took Joe Tryon. As I got to know Joe a little bit, I became convinced that, okay, he fits the scheme that they want. He's a 6'5" edge rusher that has a lot of speed, but he's not going to be asked to do a whole lot starting out. They already have, Shaq Barrett and JPP. So this guy's going to be asked to be the third situational guy to come in and spell those guys who are getting older, and then eventually take over as the number one. Kyle Trask, you got the quarterback for the future.
I don't mind the Joe Tryon pick. Solely because you've got Shaq Barrett and JPP, and he's the ultimate solution there.
Yeah.
The knock I had on Joe Tryon is he's not ready to play right now.
Yeah.
He's not. That's what I said in the pre-draft process. I don't want this to be a team that's looking for a pass rusher that can come in and work right now because I don't even know what position the guy's going to play. And I still don't. He could add 20 pounds and be a hand-in-the-dirt guy. He could lose 10 pounds and be a standing-up guy. There's just a lot of projection with him. Well, Tampa Bay's perfect for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't even mind the Kyle Trask pick, if I'm being really honest with you.
Yeah.
You shouldn't.
I really didn't. I didn't because, I mean, you're going to have a quarterback because it's not going to be Ryan Griffin.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm good there. It's really from there. I didn't hate the Robert Hainsey pick either.
Okay.
Day 4 was, I mean, it's just a lot of depth, guys. I mean, and I'm not saying that you should have done much more than that.
Yeah.
Because here's what you did. And you take this for what it's worth. You're a Buccaneers fan, and I'm just being honest about your team. You added guys that can come in and contribute right now.
Yep.
They can do things right now because you know what's happening.
Yeah.
You know how this is going to go. When Tom Brady, with all the kicking the can down the road, all of the moving the numbers, when it goes bad, it's going to go real, real bad.
Yeah.
So you brought in guys like KJ Britt and Grant Stewart that can actually do things right now. Because you know what they can do? Those guys can play on special teams and be on the kick team and all that bullshit right now.
Yeah.
So I think you may have extended the rebuild, but I'm not sure you weren't doing that anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not sure because, and frankly, we're going to learn this as we go. We've never seen a team do what Tampa Bay's doing.
No, absolutely not.
We've never seen a team that went, we got a 2-year window here. And the 3 years from now, be damned. We can be $70 million over the salary cap for all we care.
Right.
This team can suck something awful. We don't care. Never seen a team do that.
Right. You rode the coat. I mean, you rode on the back of that 2002 World Championship for a long time. Now you finally got another one, and you've got a window. You got a 2-year window here where you're going to be competing for Super Bowls as long as Tom Brady's arm can still stay attached.
Yeah.
And you got to go all in. You got to go all in to get as many, because you don't know when it's going to roll back around again, when your opportunity to be relevant is going to be here again. I didn't hate what they did, but you're right. None of it really built for the future. No, it's not about the next administration. It's about getting as many championships right now as you can.
And that's the ding on the grade. To me, you could have taken some developmental guys that would have been pieces when the Brady thing runs up. I understand what you did. You also brought back the top 39 players off your depth chart. So it's not exactly like many of these guys are going to play that much anyway. I would have liked it better, a Greg Rousseau where you took Tryon. I do like the Jalen Darden pick.
Yeah.
There were a lot of developmental guys that I look at and go, you know what, they could have been starters 2 years from now when this whole team gets gutted like a catfish.
Yep.
And you didn't do that. You added situational players for now, and that's all well and good. You may have just delayed your rebuild by a year.
Don't care.
I knew that's what you were going to say.
Right.
I fully knew that's what you were going to say, and I think that's what most Buccaneers fans will say in the comments.
They have to. If you're looking as Kyle Trask is going to, they drafted him to really be the guy to take over for Tom Brady and continue to win Super Bowls after this. It's not going to happen. We're not going to have these weapons around for long. You got to get the most out of them while we got them. So enjoy it for the next 2 years, Tampa fans, and then we can sit back, start a rebuild at that point, and watch the Carolina Panthers win this division year in and year out, because I think it's exactly where the NFC South is headed. Yep. The NFC West, the toughest division in the NFL. There are 3 teams in this division that I will not be surprised if at the end of the season we're looking at each one of these teams going, they are a legitimate Super Bowl contender. That includes the LA Rams, who just added Matt Stafford. That includes the San Francisco 49ers, who get everybody back off of injury. That includes Jeremy's best team in the NFC, the Arizona Cardinals. Seattle Seahawks are the shit of this division now.
Oh, boy.
Fire those feathers!
God.
Arizona Cardinals!
It got ugly in a hurry, and I don't know how it's going to get better.
The Seahawks got something I've never, and we'll get there when we get to their draft grade.
Right.
They got something I've never done before.
Wow.
It's something I've never done before.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start out at the bottom of the division. Last year, it was the San Francisco 49ers.
Yep.
They made the big move to trade up from 12 to get to 3, gave up 3 first-round draft picks to get up there. Trey Lance was their guy. We thought, the talk was Trey Lance or Mac Jones. Which one's it going to be? I like the Trey Lance pick way better than I would have loved Mac Jones here.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. You were starting after 3. You were at A+. That should tell you how much I really disliked everything you did from there.
Yeah,
because there ain't much to like.
It's dudes.
You took Aaron Banks way too high. I mean, 3 rounds too high. You took Trey Sermon too high. 3 rounds too high. You took him ahead of Michael Carter, which to me, I think 2 years from now, you're going to look back and go, that was stupid.
Right.
I didn't like that at all. Ambry Thomas, he's a guy. I don't hate the talent. I just haven't seen enough of it.
Right.
I did like the Jalen Moore pick. Just I have to be nice while I'm, I have to be nice about something.
So that was their value pick of the draft?
100%.
Was Jalen Moore in the 5th round?
Yep. I like Jalen Moore. And I love the Trey Lance pick. Mm-hmm. I just wish you had done a little bit more to build around him.
Yeah.
Because he's a different guy.
Yeah. This is the first draft from the 49ers in a long time that I looked at and was like, oh God, what's going on? And then I look at this draft class being where this could be what people look back on and say, yeah, John Lynch, you weren't that good. You boo-boo kitted this one. You weren't that good. Let's be clear here. I really, really, really like Trey Lance. He was definitely the pick over there, but you don't know. You don't really know what's going to happen. And if now you look at this, let's just say that Trey Lance ends up being okay or playing out a bust. And then you look at the rest of these guys that were drafted, and then you look at this class. When you were a team that is ready to make a Super Bowl run, and you could have added way better pieces, I think people could look back on this and be like, that's the point right there.
Yeah, this is where it all went downhill.
Yeah, this is what happened.
Yeah, I would have put Trey Lance in the riskiest pick discussion. Trey Sermon, to me, he's you overdrafted. Now I say that was your worst pick. I wouldn't put him in risky category, but Trey Lance definitely is the riskiest pick.
Trey Sermon's a risky pick to me because you took him over a guy that I think can be a high-level starter in this exact same offense.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know what you're seeing. I cannot figure it out because I do not like Trey Sermon as a zone running back. He's not decisive enough. I mean, there's just a lot to dislike about that. Mm-hmm. Now, with all of that being said, I vehemently disagree with a lot of what Brian just said. Because here's what they did. And it's the part that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Aaron Banks is ready to come in and play right now. Aaron Banks probably a starter day one.
Yep.
Trey Sermon was probably the most NFL-ready running back in terms of when they selected. I think Ambry Thomas is pretty NFL-ready. I think Jalen Moore can be you build a lot of things that you're trying to win right now. DeMondre Lenore, I feel the same way about him. I think he can play in the NFL right now. Mm-hmm. I just wish you had, because there is such a good talent base in San Francisco, I just wish you had done some things that would have built for later on. Because I think Trey Lance is going to be a markedly different quarterback in this scheme than Jimmy Garoppolo. Mm-hmm. And I think you needed to add some pieces to that. Receiver, I love what they have at receiver. I'm just afraid it can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
Deebo Samuel has been healthy for about 9 consecutive minutes twice in his entire life.
No doubt. Absolutely no doubt about that. But I do feel like this is a team, though, that is in win-now mode.
They are.
It's not about the future.
And I understand that. But when you have this much talent, the forward-thinking teams look to the future in the draft. Mm-hmm. It's not about adding the pieces right now. And Aaron Banks, you're never going to convince me you didn't take him ridiculously early.
Yeah.
I pull for a zone team. I wrote 100 articles on zone blocking teams. Aaron Banks was a 4th rounder at best. Mm-hmm. I mean, at best. And that's being drafted in that scheme.
Last year's best team in the NFC, according to Mr. Jeremy Greene, was the Arizona Cardinals. We like what they did in the offseason. The draft, it was just another banger. They have killed it. Zaven Collins, Rondale Moore, Marco Wilson, Victor Dimukeje, Tay Gowan. There's a lot of value in all of those picks. Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest with you, the Zaven Collins pick at 16 threw me off. I was not expecting that. I was expecting that they were going to try to target somebody on the offensive line. But Zaven Collins, you can't argue with it.
I'm okay with it.
You can't argue with a guy like that being available.
You know what the Cardinals have on the offensive line right now? A shitload of starts. A shitload of starts. Between Justin Pugh, Rodney Hudson, Brian Winters, Kelvin Beachum. 2 of those guys played for the Jets.
Yeah.
DJ Humphries. There's a lot of starts on this line. Mm-hmm. I'm not that scared of it, to be honest with you. Especially with how quick they get the ball out, how many weapons they have now. The Zaven Collins pick, it didn't throw me off in the least. I knew they were hot on him. I thought they were going to try to trade back just a hair because there were a lot of teams there were a lot of guys in that area that a lot of teams wanted to get up to get. They said, to hell with it. We're going to get our guy. Did you hear his call when they called him?
No.
Oh yeah.
He said a show dog's not going to. We're going to get a Super Bowl ring. A Super Bowl ring so big a show dog can't jump over it.
Nice.
I heard that and I went, I like that.
Yeah.
I like you. I like your disposition. I like all of it. Do you realize how many dudes are now on this defense?
God.
By the way, the Tate Gowan pick, one of the great value picks of the draft.
Yeah.
J.J. Watt, Chandler Jones comes back this year. Isaiah Simmons is going to be better in year 2. Zaven Collins, Marcus Golden, Malcolm Butler, Budda Baker. That's a lot of dudes.
Scary.
That's a lot of dogs. That's a lot of ball hockey, quarterback hitty, aggressive. And this is on a defense that's going to score this is a defense that's paired with an offense that's going to score a shitload of points.
Yeah. They might just go
I
like
love
7
this team.
wide.
I love this team. I love this team.
Yeah.
I love everything they did. The one thing I will say is the Marco Wilson pick scares the hell out of me. Marco Wilson just scares the heebie-jeebies out of me because you're never going to know what he's going to do.
Right.
Because he has made some, everybody talks about who throws the shoe, really? That was just one of a litany of really bad decisions he's made. Penalties abound, just made a lot of boneheaded decisions. I'm afraid he's a guy that you're never going to be able to trust because you're never going to know what he's going to do. Talent is off the charts. He's also a guy I could see not making the roster because I could see him getting in the building and then just going, we're not fucking with this.
Right.
We're not fucking with this. Victor Dimukeje in the 6th round, also one of my favorite picks.
Yep.
This is a guy that is a high-level technician as a pass rusher the minute he walks in the door. And he fell because of bad tape at Duke this past year on a team that was disgustingly bad.
And Rondale Moore just solidifies a wide receiver core that is scarier than just about any damn thing in the
So there's
league.
another toy.
Yeah.
You get another toy.
Yeah.
Michael Manette, a guy they took in the 7th round, that's the Rodney Hudson replacement. Just remember I said that.
Yep.
It'll be a couple years from now.
Solid pick.
Yep.
It was a solid draft all around, solid offseason all around for the Arizona Cardinals, and they absolutely needed it if they are going to ever live up to Jeremy Greene's expectations. The Seattle Seahawks had 3 picks in the damn draft.
Hey, they're all on the screen.
Yeah, hot. Yeah. All right, let's roll through them here.
Incomplete.
Your riskiest pick. Excuse me. Your riskiest pick was the guy you took in the 2nd round, Dwayne Eskridge, the wide receiver out of Western Michigan.
Love the talent. He's damn fast. I do not know how Russell Wilson's going to get in the ball. I think now you have, and the thought and the way it's been explained to me is we now have 3 guys that are so dynamic over the top that you can't put too many guys in the box.
Yep.
You can't send too many at Russ. That's the only way we could fix the offensive line. Well, here's the thing. The offensive line still sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, it still sucks. And your defense still sucks. You're the worst team in this division.
No
You
doubt.
may not want to hear that. You may not. I mean, I'm sure there will be Seahawks fans in the comments. And, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I kind of do. Yeah, I kind of do. And Russ does too. And there's a reason he's been so vocal.
Yep.
Because he's getting real friggin' tired of running for his life. And he's getting real tired of watching his defense give up points.
Well, it sucks being the best quarterback in this division
And being on the worst
being
team.
on the worst team.
You have the best quarterback in the division. Hey, and think about this. Before you tell me I'm wrong, I want you to think about something, Seattle Seahawks fans. If Russell Wilson decided, I don't want to play football anymore.
Yep.
I'm just going to go the fuck home.
Yep.
How many games do you win?
3.
At best. It's 3 at best. You would instantaneously be one of the worst teams in the NFL. And it's the truth, and you know it's the truth. You may not want to hear it, but it's the truth. And you know what? You look at a team like, let's just go, another team in this division. LA Rams. Let's say you're stuck with John Walford. Matt Stafford decides to go wax surfboards for a living or whatever the fuck he wants to do. You're still going to win 6 or 7 games.
Yep.
Because you got Aaron Donald, you got Jalen Ramsey, you got a dog defense. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. And I love the Stone Forsythe pick, by the way. A lot of people killed them for trading up for that. I think he could be a starter on this line pretty fast.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to take that long.
And then Trey Brown, he is your best value pick.
It was the third thing on the screen.
Yeah.
I mean, he fit.
Right. Okay. All right. That's fine. All right.
But here's
so
the thing.
3 picks. You had to have 3 qualifiers. I guess that's where he falls in.
I saw somebody in the comments say Russ is going to cook behind this line. I want you to understand what this line is. Dwayne Brown, never had a problem with him. I like Dwayne Brown. We're good. Damian Lewis, Ethan Pochich, do like Gabe Jackson. And Brandon Shell's your right tackle. Let me tell you something about Brandon Shell. And I'm sure you already figured this out because you got to watch him play last year. This is a guy the New York Jets looked at and went, you're unsalvageable. No shot. Remember George Fant, that 6th tackle you had years ago? Mm-hmm. The Jets looked at him and went, that's markedly better. So you better hope to God Stone Forsythe can be that right tackle because Brandon Shell is not a legitimate tackle in this league.
Adam Black said in the comments, where do all the bandwagon Seahawks fans go? They left
Arizona.
last year. They came to Tampa.
Yeah, they go to Arizona.
Actually, the comment was Russ will be cooking from home behind this line.
I read it incorrectly.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, which is 100% true because he's just going to be like,
LEM, good for you.
Yeah.
I didn't read that right. My bad.
That's the good stuff, though. That's funny as hell.
No,
It's true.
Yeah, no doubt the Seattle Seahawks are going to be the worst team in this division. Well, barring another rash of major injuries to one of the other teams, but even at that,
Nader's coming, man.
I'm telling you.
That damn twister. I'm telling you what, boys, girls.
I don't know if you can hear this in the background, but at the Wicked Weed Studios, it sounds like we're going to open that door, and Toto and Angie M are going to be flying around.
pretty much heavy weather here this morning in the Wicked Weed studio. Now, finally, let's wrap it up here with the NFC West with the Los Angeles Rams. Mm-hmm. They go out and get the quarterback in Matt Stafford. They've got a lot of weapons on this team. I feel like they did all right in the draft.
As do I.
There was nothing real special about it.
I've heard a lot of negative about the Rams. They've really gotten. I love Tutu Atwell. Mm-hmm. Love him. Okay, he's little. Cool. So is Devontae Smith. He went at 11. And now Tutu Atwell's a little bit smaller because he's a little bit shorter.
Yep.
He's a really productive player. Really productive. I like that pick personally. I like the Ernest Jones pick. Love the Bobby Brown pick. Bobby Brown the third, that's another one of those top 10, 15 favorite picks in the draft for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that's a guy that can slot in next to Aaron Donald and shit gets weird. Mm-hmm. Because there are a lot of things you can do with those two guys side by side.
Right.
That's a lot of getting after quarterbacks, a lot of run stuff, and a lot of allowing things to happen back behind you.
Yep.
And the underrated pick of this draft, and it's a guy that these two can vouch, I talked about a lot, Jacob Harris.
Yeah.
Jacob Harris, a wide receiver at Central Florida. He ain't going to play wide receiver in the NFL. He's a tight end. Mm-hmm. He's a 6'5" tight end. And you just remember I said this. That dude could be the next Darren Waller.
Wow.
Hands are not great. His hands are not great, and blocking is not his strong suit. But by God, he's going to be a matchup disaster because he's 6'5", and he's pretty damn fast.
So impact player that we could be talking more about in, 2 years? Or do you think he'll make an immediate impact?
He's not going to make an immediate impact because he's going to have to learn how to play tight end because he's never done it before, to my knowledge.
Right.
But I think he's a guy that down the line is going to make an impact.
And after losing Gerald Everett in free agency, this is someone that can help come in and play opposite of Tyler Higbee.
He can run that. I mean, he can run that Gerald Everett role right now.
Yeah.
Because Gerald Everett was not asked to block very often either. The thing about him is he's going to be a move tight end. He's going to be a mismatch tight end. He and the Atwell pick and him, they go together quite nicely. Mm-hmm. Because you can't nest on him as long as you've got somebody like Jacob Harris that at any point can go motion in the slot, change the alignments. I liked it a lot. I know a lot of Rams fans didn't. I know a lot of analysts didn't. I did.
Poor Alex Sander was going to ready to play in traffic.
Yeah, we were doing wellness checks on Alex Sander by day 3.
And that's the thing, I didn't understand why he was so upset.
Because Tutu Atwell weighs 112 pounds soaking wet with bricks on his feet.
And that's fine.
So
but
from a fan standpoint, you look at this guy and you're like, what are we gonna do with that guy? That's why
you're gonna tell him to run real goddamn fast, and I'm gonna throw in the ball.
It sounds great. I mean, but okay. I mean, but I think that's what I'm saying. As a fan, you're looking at this guy and you're like, you need guys like Jeremy to come out and say, this is actually a really good pick.
But you don't need. See, here's the thing. I think fans get too locked into, we need to draft all these superstar players. I mean, yes, that obviously helps, and that helps you be a great team in the future, but you're already a great team. At this point, you just need to find the pieces to fill in the gaps and bring everything together. And I think Tutu Atwell can be a piece that helps their offense be more efficient. He's not going to be asked to do a whole lot because you already got superstars on this defense or on this offense.
Agreed.
You got superstars on this defense as well. You brought in glue pieces, Ernest Jones, Bobby Brown. I think it's, while it's not overwhelming and it's not going to send you over the moon, it's still look at this and go, we legit filled some holes and we are going to be a Super Bowl contender next year.
Agreed.
I think you should be happy about it, but not thrilled. How about that?
Yeah.
All right, it's been fun chopping up all of the NFL draft grades with you here in the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene, Brian Haynes as well. We will be back in the Wicked Weed studio tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Don't forget, tomorrow I'm going to troll people. Nice. We've had so many trolls in the comments that we're going to have a full. I mean, and we slightly discussed this morning.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I want to do a pulse of the fan base.
Uh-huh.
Oh, nice.
And I'm going to give my top 5 ranking of most delusional fan bases with photographic evidence.
Hell yeah.
Oh, man, I can't wait for that.
Right. So tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. we will be here live in the Wicked Weed studio.
Sorry, another thing.
Yes.
Shit. The drawing for Wicked Weed for a year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, we had a lot of things to do. Didn't mean to keep interrupting you. That will be tomorrow. So there were some logistical issues with trying to figure out whose accounts were who. Uh-huh. And we wanted to make sure that at least the top 25 most commented people were in the drawing for this.
Yeah.
So it took a little more vetting. We did not forget about it. I saw Travis Miller commented it in the comments yesterday. We didn't forget. It's just taking a little extra vetting.
Yeah.
Because there's some people that have their accounts are tied to certain things and not tied to others. And I don't know what your name is. If it's not on your account, I can't figure it out. So just a little extra vetting. Drawing will be tomorrow after Pulse of the Fan Base.
Pulse of the Fan
With
Base.
photographic evidence.
Are we good?
Yes.
You good?
Yes.
You good?
Ag.
All right, I got to piss like a racehorse. Let's get out of here. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. Brian Haynes alongside as well. Follow, like, and share the Sportsocracy on all of the social medias. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button here as well. We'll be putting out all the individual team grades throughout the day today. So if you missed one, you can go back and check it. If you've got friends of other teams, you can share it with them. Tell them how right or wrong we were about their team. Tell them to subscribe as well and share it with their friends. That's how this all works. We'll see you this afternoon on ESPN Asheville for the Sports Tank with Jeremy Greene. 3 to 5 every weekday afternoon, heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And again, back here in a Wicked Weed studio tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. See you then.